5 years ago, my family took a trip to the Great Barrier Reef. We were all so excited to see the beautiful colors that it had spoken of. Here we are taking a dive into the water. But we were shocked to see that the water was murky and the coral was colorless. It did not look anything like the pictures and like how we had imagined. In fact, we had to oversaturate and completely edit any of our pictures to make it look anywhere similar to what we saw in the movies and in the media. Regardless, we were still happy to experience it, but when we went to Hawaii, we saw coral that was actually alive. We saw fish enjoying their home. Hawaii has protection on certain sunscreens to help keep it this way. So for my senior thesis, I knew what I had to do. First, we started with the oily phase ingredients. I used beeswax and emulsifying wax for 2 different bases. However, we lacked the liquid paraffin needed in the recipe. Instead, we used a solid parafilm and tried to see if it would work, but it was too chunky for our liking. We still added in the aqueous phase ingredients to combine it and try and see what we could gain from this thesis workday. To our surprise, it hardened up a little bit and actually produced something that could be a viable result.
Now stir it. No, it's still in. So let's see that it's.
Alright, here we go. It's actually working a lot better than I anticipated.
Very good.
Wow. With both the beeswax base and the emulsifying wax base, it produced something that was a little bit murky and a little bit solid, both at the same time. Here is the beeswax. The emulsifying wax turned out better than the beeswax did. However, it still was not sunscreen consistency. On the next thesis workday, we gained some liquid paraffin. It was the holy grail. It worked wonders. Here's the beeswax, and here's the emulsifying wax in comparison to the last workday. We added in the aqueous phase ingredients again, and voila!
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Cool.
Is it stick stir?
Yeah.
Oh, or pan it.
Chunky again. Chunky again. You want to get an aerial view?
Aerial view.
Chunky again.
It is chunky again, even though it looks much better.
It did look much better. Here's what the beeswax looked like after stirring. I'll go ahead and make out the monitor.
Make the picture better.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay. Let's get an aerial of the stirring. Okay, it's kind of solidy, but it's not too bad.
It's not as lumpy as the other.
It is not.
But it is still.
I used the glycerol stick, but I think that's fine. There's glycerol already in this.
More glycerol.
Exactly. Cool. We then used our 2 different active ingredients, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, in order to create a small scale sample of each base. Here is the beeswax base. And here is the emulsifying wax base, both 5-gram samples. The beeswax remained a little chunky and did not go on in a nice, clear coloration. The emulsifying wax was smooth However, it still did not have a clear coloration and was instead a pasty white. The beeswax was extremely hard to clean. It was extremely difficult to clean off our hands as well. While beeswax offered a natural solution, the product just wasn't quite right. Here is the best product, the zinc oxide emulsifying wax base. The titanium dioxide went on a little white. However, the zinc, it went on very clear. Here's a table of our results. In order to test which sunscreen had the best sun protective abilities, however, we decided to dissolve it in isopropyl alcohol and run it through a UV-vis spectrometer. Here are the emulsifying sunscreens ready to go. The UV-vis used did not have all the wavelengths that we wanted, so our charts lacked some data. Here are all the sunscreens we tried to test, however many of them did not dissolve. The final adaptation we made was adding iron oxide, to the sunscreen, trying to make it brown. However, the coloration wasn't ideal. I presented at the Rutherford County STEM Expo and won a silver medal for my project. And finally, we have arrived here. The culmination of all my efforts, my senior thesis. Thank you to everyone who helped along the way.